Here's the entrance to the office wing. That's for staff only.
Come on. Spooky. Come on. Scary, scary, scary.
Writer in your room. You've been writing as a part of the therapy. As soon as you feel up to it, you should continue.
Back into the fantasy. Zane could feel the poems, taking form, shaping things.
The storm's bound to make you-know-who jumpy. You know how they get.
Gotcha. The doc's got me looking after Wake here, but holler if they get you rowdy.
Something's wrong. I'm not myself. It's hard to think. There's a shadow inside my head.
Say they make a contribution, and then well, things are unraveling fast, aren't they?
Hartman kept talking, giving Barry the grand tour, clearly proud of the place. To Hartman's office. He had taken all my manuscript pages. That's where he'd been keeping them.
Come out and face the music, Birch. It's time to pay the piper.
Hartman wasn't happy. Mott could see it in his eyes. He quickly... The markings on the tape said they were
Now,
recordings
Mrs. Wing
Hartman
is so
had
damn
made.
difficult to deal with.
Stop buying that. I was tailing Wheeler, and this is the only place he could have gone. That means Wake is probably there too.
Seriously! Do you have any idea how much trouble you're in? I am famous!
Barry?
Ow! About time!
Barry! Man, am I glad to see you.
Hartman followed the fall of Alan Wake with his binoculars. When the rider hit the water, he ordered Hartman knew he was no creator. He had no ambitions on that front, and he certainly didn't want to end up like every...
Most of us have felt its shadow on us. A shiver down your back. A glimpse from the corner of your eye.
Ow! I'm here! Hey, come on! We gotta get going!
I stared at the Viking paraphernalia that littered the area, surrounding an unlikely centerpiece. Hartman hurried down the corridor. He had disliked leaving Wake when he was surely at his most... Mott knew that Wake was smarter than him. Wake had more money, a beautiful wife, everything. For the moment, Barry was just glad he had survived the fall. He had been separated from Al, and there was no easy way to climb back up. He told himself he'd be okay in the gloomy forest at night. He would just have to wait for a while for Al to find his way down. Barry turned when he heard the heavy footsteps and saw the movement. The man-shaped shadow lunged at him from the... Hartman watched as Wake's features slackened. The man was bullheaded, no doubt. Even lying on the bed, he'd almost... When he stopped the car at the Anderson farm, Walter felt relieved. Oblivion was close at hand. Agent Nightingale stared at the passed-out rider. The man was sleeping off one hell of a night.
I'm trying to deliver each page to the right time and place. I'm trying to show you how the story goes.
I had seen glimpses of the light before. The dark presence followed the choreography laid out to it in the manuscript, growing stronger and stronger, moving like a storm from one scene of destruction. The storm raged on as the Anderson brothers walked unsteadily away from the clinic with the other patients in tow.
Hello? Anybody here? Barry!
No! I've written myself into the story. I'm now the protagonist. This feels like a terrible risk. The farm was still a good distance away. I'd need a car to get there fast. For a moment, Hartman considered strangling the idiot. Mott was mean-spirited, but easily manipulated. And emotional. If Barry wasn't up here, he was probably in trouble down at the farm. For a moment, I felt bad for doubting him. After all, I'd made it this far myself. But Barry was Barry.
Well, as I'm sure everyone's noticed, that storm we all felt coming is finally...
Hartman had never felt as anxious as during the week after Maud had managed to lose the Wakes. Their car stood by the path that... I'd known the brothers used to be some kind of rock stars, but it hadn't really sunk in until I saw the stage.
I'm so glad you decided to go it alone, Mr. Bronson.
Shut up and shoot! Ow! We have to fight them off! I can set off more of the fireworks from here and help you... That was awesome!
Bright Falls, rock and roll capital of America.
Hey, Al! This way to the farm!
Deputy Mulligan tuned Thornton's chatter out. He didn't think riders were particularly useful. Yeah, that's been my biggest worry all this time. As the deputies hauled Wake and Wheeler away, Agent Nightingale eagerly examined the snapback.
Here he is. Right now... Wow! You look at that thing, Al! They really went all out with this
Sleep. We all spend a third of our dreams in its soft embrace, somewhere between fantasy and oblivion. But dreams have a way of forcing themselves into waking life, or vice versa. In Night Springs. Tonight's episode, The Dream of Dreams.
that's by someone else.
It's 1976. Madness reigns at the Anderson farm. Contrary to all logic, the Viking boat looked imposing, almost like a battering ram.
As you regular listeners know, I tend to work through the night, but I'm not the only one. Deputies Mulligan and
lights are out. Guess we better check the fuse box. You know, this place looks kind of lived in. I thought the Andersons were in the booby hatch.
Again, Alice's screams rang in the stillness of the night. I saw myself run toward the cabin, flashlight in my hand.